Welcome, everyone, to my interview podcast with the wonderful Jenny Vaz. Jenny is one of those rare characters who can pull in systems and numbers, as well as the people side of coaching and businesses. And she has been an absolute, well, I've been describing her as the wind under my wings all year. I'd love you, Jenny, to explain a bit more about, in your own words, tell us more about you and your zone of genius, because you're very good at talking about zones of genius.
Thank you, Wendy. It's great to be on your podcast finally. This is awesome. And a big hello to everyone who's catching this session. So my zone of genius, as you've described, and I've used this a lot in our business, the zone of genius really refers to the place where you find joy in your work, where you find passion, you find it's effortless. You get into a flow. You don't even notice that time's passed you by, and you feel so fulfilled being that person, playing that part of you that just lights up. Now, for entrepreneurs, it's typically where you find you enjoy serving your customers or your clients. Or it could be the little things that you do that delight your customers and your clients. And that can be your zone of genius, the way you get creative or the way you engage with them, the way you create results for them. And those are the areas where you find that, oh my gosh, it's so easy for me to do this. It does literally doesn't take too much effort. For me, my zones of genius are because of where I come from. I come from a world of tech for over 20 years. And I've worked in billion-dollar organizations right down to solo operations. And for me, I understand the tech world. I won't say I'm highly proficient or filled with knowledge, but I keep current on the trends. I see what's going on in the marketplace, and I understand how to implement them for your business, how to use tech to really get your teams to work together, how to use tech to grow your communities, to grow your business, to grow your profile as a business along all your social media channels. So for me, tech is technology. It's the technology that drives results. And I love playing in that space. You put me in automations, in creatives, or in creating of websites. It's everything to do with that. On top of that, there are other zones of geniuses that I have. And again, these are things that I enjoy doing. Market research. I love diving into a good chunk of research and going, okay, here's what we need to do. Analyzing data trends, finding out what's in the data to detect, is there something that we missed or something that is potential for us, an opportunity for us to explore. So all of these experiences come from my 20 years of being in tech. I'm just naturally curious, and I've never settled for the status quo. And that's a great asset to have when you're in technology, because working in large businesses, they're always pushing the frontier. What else can we do to delight our clients? Or for our employees, what else can we create? And especially in these last 2 years, when the whole world went virtual, mostly, we were functioning on a virtual platform. So this explosion has been quite extraordinary to see.
Yeah.
So that's where, I bring in your technology. I call it the 3 layers of strategy, structure, and systems. Strategy is how the big picture, how you're going to implement that, the big ideas and chunking them up. The structure is what's going to tie everything together. And the systems is how you're going to implement them in their various silos. And of course, you need your beautiful people on top of that. Just because you have these few, even if you have strategy, structure, and systems and people, it does not mean you can do away with the high touch points. So I just want to put that caveat out there. The high touch points with your clients don't go away.
Yes. Thank you. I mean, it is, you can tell that you really geek out on that. You get so excited and vibing with that. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Jenny, for sharing your passion around the systems and the patterns, and it's pattern recognition that you are so good at. And that you do within numbers, within data, and also within people. Your pattern recognition is exemplary. And I, for one, have been on the other end of that. And thank you very much.
Totally.
So I'm wondering, where do we go with this in terms of how we've worked together in terms of getting my business up a few levels, looking at working with speakers, because you've introduced the idea of structure to some of our speakers for us in terms of, say, like the format, and giving that idea of structuring a presentation so that it flows, and it's like the container, the riverbanks, if you will, through which you can flow your beautiful gesture downloads of your flow. So I've experienced that from myself, and so other of my clients. But tell us a bit more about how you think about the plan, because the reason I'm asking this, sorry if I can backtrack for a second, because we put out that survey for speakers and what their goals were for 2023, what we discovered was that the 7 pillars of influential communication, which is the system that I've developed over the 30 years working with speaking and speakers, there was a couple of things missing. And that was what you picked up on, wasn't it? So can you tell us a bit more about those last 2 that we've added in?
Sure. So when we looked at the data set of responses, what we noticed in the trend was quite consistent. When it comes to 2023, everyone has a goal. They have a vision. What they didn't have were these 2 elements of planning and promotion. What was their plan to get themselves to be more prolific speakers, whether it's motivational, inspirational, influential speakers, which is what most people come to you, Wendy, for. Your words have power. Is that where you're an influential speaker and you're creating that change, that impact that you want to see in the world. The other effect was the promotion. So how do you promote your message? It's not promote yourself as a speaker per se, because I know a lot of your clients are not comfortable with that, or they will get behind their message more and really get their message out there, which is fabulous. But your message needs promotion.
Yes.
Your words have power. When we started up with Your Words Have Power back in March this year, it was a virtual unknown. It was a brand new platform that we created. But in the space of 9 months, we have grown Wendy's following by 300%. If my numbers serve me right, for once I don't know my numbers, but I'm sure we can do a quick reference check. I know I've seen the numbers grow double since month on month, and in 1 month we had over 2,000 increases in Wendy's following, and it's because the promotion of it matters. The promotion of the platform, Your Words Have Power, what we do, what we stand for, is really important. And as speakers, you want that message out there. So promoting your message is really important. What are you doing in the way you're leveraging social media? When I talk about promotion, I'm not talking about get busy on social media. I'm really thinking your content strategy. Your promotion is primarily a content strategy. I know we have busy schedules. I know as an entrepreneur, it's really difficult to get so much done. We're not talking content every day. It could be 1 newsletter a month that you're sending out to your mailing list, just starting with 1. Or it can even be a video, a 5-minute video that you're sending out to a mailing list, that you're popping it up also on social media, and just leveraging that, and you're repurposing or rehashing that content in different ways and formats so that your message gets propagated. That's what promotions and plan go together. So when you put that, when you marry that with your delivery, people will see that consistency when you get on stage. Yep, I know what the speaker is about. And when you go to your next event, someone will then share that message with somebody else. That's what you want. Or you want a speaker who talks about this. I attended that event. Boy, were they good. And I'll remember when Wendy shared this story, when you shared this story with me, you were at an event and you had spoken and you had shared that story, that very personal story about your realization about your marriage. And after this event, a lady came up to you and said, "Thank you for sharing that. You've helped me to make a decision about mine." And now you found out recently, I kind of put you on the spot here without you really asking. And she shared an update with you recently, didn't she, Wendy?
Yeah. So the issue was that the phrase that I used that really resonated with her was sucking the life out of me, because my late husband was mentally unwell and he couldn't give into the marriage, and I felt that he was sucking the life out of me. Now, I was talking about the guilt at the relief of my husband's death. She heard, you've given me the courage to make the decision to get myself out of a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And she has done so. And she, whilst she is financially a little bit under pressure because of it, she feels so much happier in herself. Her children are a lot happier as well. And that's because she resonated with something I'd said, because of the clarity of what I was saying.
Yeah. And since then, Wendy, how many times have you shared that message?
Oh, lots.
And you've also mentioned it in a book.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is how, when you have a plan, it becomes very clear that you're going to talk about this point. Now, Wendy uses this point with her speakers, because as speakers, we know our speakers, what they really want is that level of impact. When you're speaking powerfully, when it's heart to heart, you're making that heart to heart connection with this listener. It could be one person, it could be 10 people in that room, but the person who needed to hear it the most heard it. They heard it from you, and they walked away changing their lives. Like, raise your hands right now as you're watching this. Like, yeah, I want that. Like, 2 hands if you must, right?
Oh, yes.
Because this is where we get to create that effect.
We get to make a difference.
We get to make a difference. And so whether it's going to be in a book or on stage or in a one-on-one conversation or on a podcast, when you're sharing your message, when you tie it all together and you get the consistency, people know what you stand for. They know what you're about. Your message may not be the same exactly, because it depends on the audience you're delivering it to. But when you're speaking to your specific person, your avatar, they get it, they hear it. And now, most people don't know this, and I'm going to say this for fact. I'm happy for you to quote me on this, Wendy. Your avatar needs to hear your message 8 to 12 times before they actually say, hey, I'm interested. 8 to 12 times before they say, I'm interested.
And we never know when they're listening in, do we?
No. How many times has this happened to you, Wendy, that the person who DM'd you is not the person who liked your content?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, hello, who are you?
So many times.
You get stalked because, or somebody will go, I've been watching what you've been saying. And they will be looking out for the consistency. And you were saying about having that plan and that clarity. If you are known for particular words, you have sticky words, you have things that are known by, your words have power. The number of times I've had a couple of people say to me, every time I hear that, I think of you. And I've even had people send me quotes out of a book where that phrase has come up and they've gone, that's Wendy. Well, actually, it wasn't, but yes, thank you very much. Yes, it's reminded them of me because of the consistency with which we're using that same phrase.
And I remember you had a different slogan back then, right? And tried it, we tested it, didn't quite catch on in the way we thought it would. It's still relevant to the work you're doing.
Yes.
And it's morphed into something that's relevant to your client, to your avatar.
Yeah. And that's the thing, it's got to be relevant to your ideal audience, because it's the what's in it for me concept. And this is where we're going next year with the Your Words Have Power. This year has been around the speaker's perspective. And next year we're shifting into, we're not rebranding, but we're shifting in the emphasis onto being mad, as in making a difference from the audience's perspective.
Exactly.
So that's where we're excited about that going up next year.
So with promotions and planning, there's a whole heap of things you have to do. And this will be an ongoing thing. It won't be a one-time effect. It will be for some of us, it will be, we're planning for the first time. Boy, oh boy, big, I use this metaphor. Some of us wear new shoes and it hurts, right? New shoes, they hurt. First few times they will hurt, and then they'll feel like old shoes again. So planning and promotion might be new shoes for you. But guess what? When you start putting these two together, You give your message, your delivery, roller skates.
Nice.
You give them roller skates. So they're going to skate around neighborhoods and social media, content, platforms, stages, books, podcasts, wherever your content or your message appears, and they're just going to leave their mark there. They're going to pass through and leave a mark. And that's what you really want, to be known, to become known, where people know your words have power is Wendy. I got to send this little thing that I saw in the book.
Yeah.
And you create your stickiness. The beauty about having something simplified that is catchy is it's easy to remember. It's easy. It's not about being clever or showing how smart we are. Everyone gets that. You figured it out. You figured it out. You got the answers. But they are not where you are at. So when you market it to them, at the level that they are at, which was where you were 1-2 years ago, that's what will make the difference. So your words have power are for speakers. And now making a difference is for the audience of our speakers, because they want to see the difference in their lives. They want to go mad as hell in their lives in the best possible ways.
Yes. And that's why I'm excited at the prospect of what we're bringing next year.
Totally.
We're looking at a multi-author book, as well as a fair few other exciting new things for next year. But let's think about this.
Have you told everyone yet what you're planning for next year?
No, I haven't. Not all of it.
Perhaps.
Okay, sneak peek, everyone. We have the multi-author book, because there'll be more than one. We have a new program on how to be a summit speaker. So training people ahead of being on a virtual summit. We're going to be doing that 3 times this coming year. Once around once around health, once around wealth, and once around relationships. What were you going to say?
Oh, exactly.
And then we're also later on in the year running a speakers retreat and a physical, in-person, live, touchy conference.
We're having 2 retreats.
We are having 2 retreats. I forgot that. Yes, we've got 2 retreats coming up.
And we're going to finish the year with a conference.
Yes.
I'm excited for the conference because there's going to be so much more coming to our speakers and your audience. It's not your regular conference. I can tell you that for now. So you want to watch the updates that Wendy's going to be rolling out about this conference because you really want to get in. I'm super excited. It's nothing like that's been done before. So yeah.
I am so excited for our mad year next year. We are making a difference consciously, systematically, strategically. And what was the other one of your words? So it's strategy, systems, structure and structurally. Yes. We put the structure in there to make sure it happens.
We're trying to have a structurally sound mad year. I know it sounds like an oxymoron. A structurally sound mad year. That should be the title of this podcast. Structurally sound like,
it could be. Right. On that note. So I'm wondering then, how are we going to this book that we're talking about? We're looking at a multi-author book. Now, multi-author books are 2 a penny at the moment, and it's kind of a saturated market. So I'd like to explore with you from your perspective, because we've got 3 experts involved in ours. So it's not your average, here's your chapter title or the book title, come up with 3,000 words, give it to me by such and such a date, we'll do a grammatical check and off you go.
No.
We've already had a podcast interview with Crystal Hill, who's our publisher.
Yeah.
And she's got 5 international number 1 bestsellers under her belt. And she's working on another one already. So she has got a good track record. And the way that she works it is that there is a group program, a group coaching. People get the opportunity to talk to each other, connect with each other. And then you really do feel as though you've got the opportunity for networking. And she was talking about the fact that people have been doing joint ventures now as a result of the books that they've been in, and they would never have met before. So it's a different way of doing things. And add to this your zone of genius. I think we're doing pretty well. I think we're doing very well, actually. So tell us about where you fit into this.
So to me, what I bring to the table is the book launch. So from the moment you sign up, ideally, we want you to start building that list, your list of buyers, the people who are excited that your book is coming out, whether it's your first book or your 10th book in the collection. It doesn't matter. You want people to get excited. Oh my gosh, you're writing a book. I got to read this. And one thing I've noticed that the moment you announce it, you got to see it through, don't you? So you're going to do it anyway. Might as well just announce it. That's my logic. What do you think, Wendy?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, I've got one coming out in January.
There you go. And mine's coming out in March. So this is happening.
It's happening.
Now, if you're someone who's proficient in the space of business, let's say that's business and wealth, the first, get into the first book, because that's the first summit that's going to hit online, virtually. And that helps you to ride the wave from the book launch, will be probably in May, and the summit and everything else as you build up into the conference. So in between, it's not just do the summit and the conference. No, in between, plan your promotions, right? To get as many people. This year, we're going to give you the push, the guidance to promote yourself, to promote your message, to get it more out there. So if you're ready to hit that big stage with the conference, this is the best game in town that I've seen, that takes you from a summit, from a book to a conference. So whatever you do in between those is what's also going to add value to grow your following, to get you more clients, to build your reputation, where someone now recognizes you for the words that you're using on a consistent basis.
Yes.
They get you and your platform. And that's where you become powerful, where people say, hey, I've been watching you. I want to work with you. So to me and my team, what we offer is the promotions you can do. We have a group promotions that we're doing as part of the book launch. And if you want a custom promotion, you want to talk to us about what that looks like, that's something that we can do one-on-one as well. And in between, there will be a workshop that I'll be offering to help you to start thinking about how you want to start or do more promotions of your message. It's a mad year. Let's do this.
It certainly is a mad year. So we've got a brilliant publicist. We have a phenomenal woman who is in charge of the systems, the strategy, and the structure. Yay! And the book launch. And you've got me in there as well. Because as a speaker with a book is one thing. And it's a great tangible thing to have to give to people at the back of the room, be it virtually or physically, when you're speaking. Because if you've got 10 minutes, maybe a quarter of an hour or so, you can't fit as much information as you can in your 3,000 word chapter. So if you do this strategically, your talk will give enough information and be a teaser to invite people to buy the book. Do you see where we're going with this? It all is part of your strategy. It's all part of your plan for the whole year, so that you're using your speaking as an adjunct to your book.
Yep.
How's that for you? Double whammy. And then we've got the conference at the end.
Yeah.
So,
and we still have open positions for opening keynote and closing keynote. Right? Why not? Why not make that happen for yourself? So you want to raise your profile. What would it mean for you as a speaker to be at that podium delivering your message? Now, the conference will not be the end all. It will never be the end all. But this 2023 is the big takeoff. Yes. This is your moonshot, right? Think of it as your moonshot. What's the trajectory you're going to build for yourself? that's where things start getting very exciting. Very exciting.
We have an amazing Mad Year coming up.
Indeed. We're not looking for just to fill with 20 speakers to write the book. As many books. If you remember, Wendy, when we first started talking about this, we were talking about the effect that the Chicken Soup for the Soul had. Some of us are the 60s and 70s kids. We were around when we saw those Chicken Soup for the Soul books by, was it Jack Canfield? Yeah. Everyone had a copy when they first came out. And then you had Chicken Soup for children, Chicken Soup for teenagers, for couples. It was a spin-off series that was created. They sold so many books beyond millions. I was in Singapore when I got my first copy. We didn't have Kindle back then. There were no digital copies, but we remember them. That's what we are looking to accomplish with our Mad Books.
Yes. Yeah, right. Because we are going to be making a difference. And it's not just us, obviously, who are organizing it, but you as a speaker, you as an author, you are making a difference to the people who are going to be reading your story. So you're marrying a bit of your backstory with your expertise and popping in a freebie that people can continue to work with you after they've read the book. They'll get in touch. They'll say, come on, I'm really interested in this. This was really good. Tell me more. How can I work with you more? So this is the power of doing this strategic thinking for your Mad Year to come, that you are making a difference. I'm really excited. Are you going to come and join us?
Yeah. And it's not only that. When you work with Wendy, I know you're going to get podcast interviews. Wendy is going to show you the network that she's a part of. Wendy is one of the most prolific speakers that I know. She seems to know everybody who's in town. So you're going to get access to that network. As I start building out my speaking career, I'm like, hey, Wendy, tell me whom should I speak to? Bam, Dunsky. That's what you want.
Yeah.
To open up the door. So you're really going to say, how many podcast interviews can I get done this month? So you're staying live on action. And Wendy saw me in action today. I had a podcast interview earlier and I did a screenshot. And that's something we're going to do as well from the recording today. Do a screenshot saying, hey guys, guess what? I just interviewed with so-and-so. Can't wait for it to come out. You're keeping things alive.
Yes.
And then when it comes out live, there goes another update. My podcast interview is here. So you're active. You're front of mind for people.
Yeah.
When they hear the words, they will know, they will tell somebody, you need to talk to this person. You need to listen to this speech or this presentation or read this book. Because that's where I found my answers. That's what we all want, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the legacy. I know a lot of our speakers, they want to create a legacy. So yeah, let's figure out how to do this. I'm
excited. It's going to be a phenomenal year. It's going to be a mad year.
Mad year. Now it's already mad because the two of us have been working behind the scenes. We've got the mad structurally ready for you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Strap in.
We've got the strategy. We've got the structure. We've got the systems.
And the people to do this. And the people.
So
strap in. Let's get your moonshot done.
Exciting.
3,000 words. Get into a call with Wendy. And we'll figure this one out with you. So excited. So excited for the 400 of you who are going to come through. I'm just going to put that random number out there, Wendy.
I love that. We'll have, as you said, Mad Books in everybody's hands, whether it be the physical copy or the Kindle or we're listening to Audible. It doesn't matter which platform you prefer. We will be doing all of them.
Indeed.
Exciting. Okay, well, thank you very much, Jenny, for sharing with us your input to our Mad Book. As I said, this is not your average multi-author book. This is one very impressive Making a Difference book in 2023. Thank you very much for sharing with us.
Most definitely. Can't wait to meet all of you. Thanks for having me, Wendy. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye from me.